Hey guys, Kenny Wisdom and James Good here. We're going to watch this top 8 match on the Vancouver Regional Championship between Chase Moloney and David Cohen.
I mean, and as you see right now, obviously we have a Pyroar for Chase Moloney and Virizion Driftbloom for David. And I mean, David's already under pressure here. This is the very first turn, and for a Pyroar deck, I don't think you can ask for better. He gets a DC down. He gets 3 Leos down.
Also, just for you more astute viewers, we understand the matchup is bad. These players only had 15 minutes to build their decks and get back to the tournament center, so we didn't really know what each person would be playing. So we just went with the people with the highest accolades, essentially. As you guys can probably tell, Pyroar should beat Driftbloom and Virizion Driftbloom pretty easily, but hey, Sam Chen won Houston by defeating Pyroar in the finals, so stranger things have happened.
I mean, anything can happen. And as you see right here, like with the, I mean, he's got the enhanced hammer. It's expanded format, so he gets a DC off right now, already putting him a turn down.
Yeah, and if you guys are new or unaware of what expanded is, it's everything from black and white on. So
I told Trevor Reed that he could play plus powers with his Lugia deck if he wanted to, and it blew his mind.
So we've got the main players that we have in expanded are Sky Arrow Bridge, Enhanced Hammer like we talked about before, Tropical Beach is a big one. There's a few really important cards to the format. Level Ball is another one you see in Trace's hand.
I mean, one of these players could potentially show up with Gothbor or Trevenant.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. Right now, the expanded format is still pretty new. It's still only from Black-White, so 2011 on. But as time goes on, expanded will grow, and it'll be a much more interesting format. As you can see, a lot of the decks that are played in expanded are just upgraded versions of standard decks. But the idea is that with time, 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, the decks will vary wildly as more things get added to expanded and rotated out of standard and such.
I'm pretty excited about it, to be honest with you. It opens up a lot of elements, especially down the line when we get a card pull of 3 or more years,
Yeah, definitely. Should be a really cool format. Because right now it's just the literal decks are just upgraded.
It's kind of weird. It feels like you just went back in time. Like now we can play all the stuff that we're playing during Cities 2012.
And there's a second energy.
Does he have a G-Boost in his hand?
Yep. Sure does.
Wow.
Oh, no, he has the...
Wow.
Oh, boy.
David Cohen just not messing around.
I mean, he has a lone Genesect, but he is going to get the knockout here. Oh, he has another Genesect in his hand, I suppose. You can drop that. Shuffling his hand a bit.
Is he just not going to...
Going for the G-Booster. I mean, he's not in fear of getting knocked out. I don't think. I mean, I guess
he is. He's like a blacksmith.
Yeah, I was going to say, I guess he can play blacksmith and just get him.
I mean,
that may actually be a little bit of David's inexperience with the format. Obviously, Genesect isn't what you want to be doing versus Pyroar, but I think you...
His blacksmith DC game. I mean...
Yeah, that has to be a little bit of David's inexperience with the format.
I don't know. I think David was just hoping for a scenario there where he didn't have to benchmark grass Pokemon. I think he was just trying to, he would have had... Yeah. It's just what it is.
Chase Moloney takes a quick game 1 over David Cohen.
I mean, what do you think David has to do different there other than bench more Pokemon?
I mean, different in that match, just bench another Pokemon. He's probably losers down the line. Sam Chen won a regional championship in Houston, Texas with his Virizion Driftbloom deck by beating a Pyro deck in the quarterfinals. Me and David were re-sleeving his deck just a few moments ago for the top 8, and we asked Sam, what did you do to win? What did you do differently? And Sam just said, oh man, the guy just ran really bad. He just had no... The matchup is not great. There's no real...
I think Sam was talking to me earlier before this started, and he had a really great analogy. He said, I'm going to win some, I'm going to lose some, but I'm out here and I'm having a good time, and I think I might be more skilled than my opponent. But the reality is, we're both playing Pyroar and a Pyroar mirror. Even if I'm the more skilled player, at best it's going to be a 55-45 edge.
Sure.
But I really just like that Sam went into this hey, I'm having a good time. I'm already up over 300 championship points.
Right. So, the whole thing Sam has said throughout this whole week has been I can't complain. Whatever happens, I'm #1 ranked player in the world. I've won a regional. What am I going to do? Complain that I don't have 500 points already? Sam has a good head on his shoulders. And same with David and Chase. David and Chase both take the game seriously. They're both very good at Pokemon, but they're teammates, they're friends. They're not going to like David, when you can see David's all smiles. Chase is a little bit more serious, but still not too concerned. Top 8's a good accomplishment, and they're losing to a good friend. I don't think this match is one of the more intense in the field right now.
No, definitely not. You can see they're chatting it up. David's talking a lot.
Yeah.
But
Probably talking about how bad the matchup is.
I think they're talking about if they can finish this series in 10 minutes and then go to Nero,
Probably.
the waffle bar here in lovely Vancouver, Washington. Vancouver,
Washington.
BC.
Vancouver, Washington is not lovely.
No, not at all. Not at all. You might as well just be in Portland.
That's how. We're gonna talk a little Northwest inside baseball here, but when someone like doesn't travel a lot or doesn't like understand how things work, they're like, yeah, world's in Vancouver. Oh, is it Vancouver, Washington? It's like, what? Have you never left? Have you ever been there? Like, do you know what that is? Like, that's when a person just doesn't know what the world is like.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. So David has a much better start here. It's Virizion. Looks like he has a grass attached up against Leo. Obviously, this is a much more ideal hand.
Chase also mulliganed 3 times.
Yeah, so he's got some cards to work with.
And I have to assume he's going to get a Genesect. Like, you don't want to play the Genesects because they're weak to fire, but there's nothing else you can do. You can't just attack with Driftlings only. I'm actually surprised David decided not to play something like Raichu or something, just given that he knew that Pyroar would be around.
Right. So, I don't know. I don't think it's a terrible play. I mean, I know there's multiple Pyroars in this top 8. I believe there's 3. So, I mean, obviously it was the popular play for top 8 here.
Yeah.
But I also think that Virizion Genesect is too strong to ignore. I mean, you can't count on, you can expect. I think it's logical to expect one person to be, I might be able to run through a field of Virizion Genesect in the top 8 with Pyroar.
Right.
But the fact that 3 of these top players, said, hey, I'm going to play Pyroar. Now, unfortunately, they're going to play a lot of mirror matches.
Right, and the thing is like when you're playing Pyroar, Pyroar is the deck that just like you flip a coin basically.
Yeah.
Like if you're playing against Virizion, you are very likely to win. If you're playing against an evolution deck, you're not very likely to win. But it is so. This tournament was run with literally 8 Swiss rounds this morning, and then a 15-minute break to go build your deck and grab food and whatever else you want to do, and then come back. So a lot of the decks in this format are represented by people just being like, okay, I know David's going to play Virizion, so I'll play Pyroar. I don't care if I lose in top 4. I have I auto win top 8, right? Like you've metagame to the point where you're just saying, I'd rather take the guaranteed top 4 than like play a more skill-intensive deck or a better deck against the field.
It's definitely an interesting dynamic when you don't have all night to think about it and then turn in your deck list in the morning, and when you literally, the night before the tournament, you have to have some sort of idea of what you want to do and expand it, and you have to have the cards all together or whatnot.
Right.
So that's really interesting. I don't know if I like it more or less than having a day 2 or whatever, but, I mean, for these guys, I think if they would have had the night to sleep on it, I don't think we would have saw at least 3 Pyroar in top 8.
Right.
I mean, it just kind of, Pyroar is a sexy play, but if you think about it overnight, you might switch to something more sensible like Yveltal Garb now that you can play Dark Patches and Expanded.
Well, it also matters heavily. Like, this tournament was one that didn't get a day 2 Swiss. And if you have a day 2 Swiss, I think that your opinion totally changes because you have to build a deck that's good against the field.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, here you just build a deck that's good against your opponent.
This is actually a really good start for David. He's going to get a knockout on this Lit Leo and also Emerald Slash onto that Genesect. Yeah, so, I mean, this is about as good as he can hope for.
Yeah,
but
he's doing all that he can.
Yeah.
Like, even if he is unlikely to win, what he is doing is the way he's going to win.
Right. And to be fair, it's not even that terrible right now for him. I mean, Chase is going to have to either attach to that or hopefully he has a Blacksmith, but I mean, now, does he have a Mewtwo? Is that what?
Yeah, he's touching a Mewtwo Muscle Man, looks like.
So, I mean, he's in the same scenario that David was in where he risks benching out if he doesn't bench that.
Oh,
so.
No fire?
Wow.
No fire for Chase. There's a level ball to get another Lit Leo.
I mean, this is actually pretty big for David. I mean, what does he do here? Does he just go for this knockout on this Pyro right off the bat with the Genesect if he can get it? Or does he just charge up another Genesect?
I do not have the most experience in Expanded. I certainly don't have the most experience playing Pyro decks, but I think that you just have to, if you can get the G-Booster knockout, you have to take it. I don't think you can just leave the Pyro. Oh, roller skates. I don't think you can just leave the Pyro there to just draw an energy next turn. You know,
right.
It's not how it works. You just need to knock it out.
Meanwhile, I think Chase actually has more decisions on his hand right here. What?
No, looks like he's considering tropical beaching. I think there's a beach in his hand.
Yeah.
It's the wrong beach, 2012, ugly one, but
I actually just recently sold my finalist beach that was awarded to David Cohen from 2011. I'm a little sad about it. It was in my collection for about a year.
goodness. Why'd you sell it?
Because I'm a poor college kid. No. It was just sitting in my drawer, and there's no reason for anybody to own 4 beaches at this point. And, I mean, I sold off all my bling. Like, I'm playing this season. Like, don't care. Like,
Right. Fair enough.
everybody who saw my Blastoise deck last year got a little insane.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I actually like the position that David's in right now. He just has multiple options. He can red signal and kill a Litleo and charge up a Genesect. That also seems decent.
Yeah, I mean, I think if he can find, I think he's probably. That's actually an interesting decision. He has to attach the plasma and then choose whether the red signal or not, knowing that. And there's a DCU on Litleo. Drawing 7. If he would have hit the roller skates, he would have had the fire. Alright, let's see what he does here.
Yep.
Jamming down Litleo, get the guaranteed knockout.
And is he going to bounce the... Yep, he's going to bounce the beach for his Sky Arrow. 2 cards that are not present in the standard format.
Sky Arrow also is definitely what makes this deck so much better than it is in standard.
Shout out to Danny Comrade for bringing me some pulled pork poutine.
It's Danny Comrade?
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually just found out that's not actually his last name, so that's a OTB Twitch exclusive.
I didn't know who Dan. Like, okay, this is my first interaction with Danny Comrade. I knew he was a Pokemon player from like Facebook and stuff, but I didn't know that he was from our area or even had been ever in Washington State until he posted. I get on after Washington Regionals. I get on my phone and it says Danny Comrade tagged you in a photo. I was like, oh, he took a picture of me on stream. He screen capped it looking silly or whatever. And no, he took a picture of me from standing behind me for no reason. It's just like me like eating a Subway sandwich, and he posted it on Facebook, and like that's how I knew it. Like he was just behind me.
I just saw that somebody posted. One of my friends posted a picture of me from our pack battles of me with my eyes closed because I'm repping CM Punk, a very popular pro wrestler.
Nice.
So what do we got going on here? We got definitely 2 prizes for Chase.
Yep. I mean, it looks like Dave.
But he did have to manually attach that, so I mean he might fall behind on energy if he can't find those blacksmiths.
It should be fine. I mean, I think that if David is unable to knock the Pyroar out this turn.
Yeah.
That's pretty big. He does have another one,
Yeah.
but that's pretty big.
That's a little frustrating. I mean, that's obviously like ideal, I guess. I mean, there's no point to knock out this Virizion anymore. It's not going to Emerald Slash anymore, so knocking out your main attackers.
I think Chase is glad to knock out the Virizion if he doesn't get the catcher flip. I don't think he's like, oh man, that sucks.
Yeah.
I just think that this situation is so much better for him.
I agree. I mean, if you're David here, like obviously you want to knock out this Pyroar and then just hope that he can't get any more attachments and can't score another 1-hit KO on your other Genesect.
Definitely.
But I see the Skyla. The problem is I don't see an energy in David's hand right now. So, I mean,
Promotion.
I could see him skyling if he has 2 supporters. I could see him potentially skyling here for a enhanced hammer as well.
I thought the foil Skyla in his hand was a G booster.
No, it's definitely not. I think, do I see an enhanced in his hand? No.
So there's an Ultra Ball.
So it's gonna get the Drift Bloom online, I imagine.
Yeah. Also gonna look through his deck. He searched his deck with
Yeah,
Slash.
I think I
guess
saw
he knows
Super
what
Rod in
the
there as
G
well.
booster is.
Nope, there's a Jirachi. Oof.
Jirachi gonna go get.
Literally,
I imagine an N. Interesting.
literally playing with fire here. He's 2 Pokemon that are both weak to Pyro.
I mean, it doesn't matter though.
And no, it doesn't.
Like, they're all weak to Pyro. They're all EXs. I guess that matters, and like Mewtwo could knock it out a little bit easier or something. But
Right.
It's pretty irrelevant.
I mean, I guess at this point I have to shout out to Trevor Reed and Kabir, who both opened Jirachi in Game 1 of the final round and got literally the entire room clapping for them.
Oh, is that why the clapping was going on?
Yes,
That's funny.
yes. They freaked out because they were so happy, and then in the end result, they both poisoned each other, and then Trevor just couldn't draw any more Pokemon,
Nice.
so he got his lone Jirachi donked, and yeah.
How silly.
So, what we got for David here? Is he preparing another Genesect?
Yeah, looks like he...
Did he hit an Enhanced Hammer, correct?
Yeah, he had the Enhanced Hammer to get the DCE off.
Wow. Wow, this is actually a really, really big turn by David.
Looks like he's contemplating playing an energy switch.
Get it off the Virizion
Probably
onto
gonna-
the...
I mean, I think that's like actually fine leaving it that way because I think that you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket.
Mm-hmm.
But no, he does it, which is probably also fine. I'm not sure which is correct, but I would have taken a more conservative route and left it on the Virizion. David goes down to 3 prizes, and Chase is in a bit of trouble here.
Drifloon is weak to Psychic, right? Not Dark? I believe so.
I honestly do not know.
I believe it is, and if so, I can expect... I think we see a Mewtwo here. That's what I feel like anyways. Because if he whiffs a Blacksmith or whatever, he just leave that Pyroar up to be killed by the Drifloon. And also, I believe that's the second DC in his discard. Oh, we see the DC in his hand.
Yeah, he has a DC in his hand. He just needs like a Blacksmith or another way to attack.
Right. Does he have a Blacksmith in his hand?
Not that I can see, but I'm also not sure that he doesn't.
And
There's the Mewtwo. Just draws.
I think he top decked the Blacksmith. I think that's what it looks like.
Seems pretty good.
That's also a frustrating situation if he did top deck the Blacksmith and now he needs a switch.
I mean, I don't think that he's necessarily super unhappy to take the knockout here, although he attaches to the Pyroar, goes and plays the Blacksmith, and he just activates that Tropical Beach to draw a switch.
Nope. So this is just a one-hit KO for this Pyro right here, or for this Drifloon right here on this Mewtwo. Mewtwo weak to Psychic, and there's 2 DCs just chilling, and Chase's discard.
Seems good. So I think the price... I mean, if David can find the G-Booster, he should probably have it here. I mean, I suppose that... I suppose Chase could follow it up with a knockout on the Genesect. Follow this turn up, excuse me.
Right, but then he'd still have the Drifloon for the knockout on the Pyro. So.
Oh, true.
So, this is actually a really good spot for David, and this is why this matchup's a lot more interesting when Virizion Genesect goes second.
Alright.
Or, I'm sorry, when it goes first, and when it doesn't have Pyro staring it down on turn 2.
David's doing some thinking. Taking a pretty long turn, actually.
And does he have the G-Boost in his hand right now? Like, what is he contemplating?
I'm not sure. I can't really see his hand.
Now I see a Switch, and I see a Muscle Band and some other fun stuff. No, that's not garbage. Sorry.
There's the G-Booster, I think, in the end of his hand right there. If I attach it to the Genesect, yeah.
Yep. And does he does not have the Plasma Energy.
No Plasma. Not sure what he's considering here. Tapping his hand on the playmat. Gonna check out Chase's discard pile real quick. There are 2 DCEs and another Mewtwo in there. Shadow Triad for David, Muscle Bands, Energy Colors, and Juniper. There's a whole bunch of supporters.
He hasn't even attached this turn, I don't believe, correct?
No, he hasn't attacked, or he hasn't attached, sorry.
Interesting. Grabbed a couple more grass off those prizes.
Beautiful. We could be headed to game 3.
I can definitely see it.
There's the Ultra Ball.
I can't see anything that Chase could do barring getting a knockout here on the Drifloom and getting a Megaphone or a Tool Scrapper, but then he also has to play an end. So, I mean, there's so many things that he has to do. Otherwise, David just has it sealed because David does have the Shadow Triad in his hand.
Yep, and that Shadow Triad is what allowed him. Thank you.
Awesome.
Oh, we have matches already done. Joey Gaffney, our first seed, has defeated Brian Hill, and we will be going to a Game 3 in this match. And Kevin Krupnik has beaten Richard Reynolds, who you saw on stream earlier. I think Richard had a game loss.
It was either a game loss or his opponent getting to choose who goes first.
I'm pretty sure it was a game loss. I heard him saying something about a game loss when he was like sleeving up his deck or something. It was something about missed sleeves or something, so that explains why that one
I believe he had a full art Lysander that either had a marking on it or the sleeve had a marking on it.
Oh, that makes sense. Gotta be careful of those sleeves. Well, this top 8 could end a lot sooner than we thought if 2 of the matches are already done, right?
Yeah, I know, right? And this is the third one. And then, of course, we have Alex Koch and Sam Chen over there in the other bracket, who will play. One of those two will be going on to play Kevin. They are both playing Pyroar variants.
Alex and Sam are?
Yes.
Okay. Interesting.
They're pretty identical. I think the main difference is one of them has... I don't want to actually reveal their decks in case... I don't know.
Sure.
They're both playing Pyroar variants.
I don't know what Kevin or Joey are playing.
I don't know either.
I suppose we could figure that out somehow. If I had to guess, Joey's probably playing Blastoise. Played that all last
I actually
season.
think Kevin might be playing Virizion Genesect with Beartic.
Beartic? Okay.
I think that might be what he's playing. I'm not 100% certain.
I mean, that's a lot. You're a lot better versus Pyro then.
Right. So, be interesting to see if the big bear, Chad Vasquez's spirit animal, can will its way to win over a Pyroar, or if the Pyroar's too good and it has a float stone, effectively making Beartix do nothing.
Fun fact about Kevin Krupnik, he recently top 4'd the Crossmaster Arena National Championships. Crossmaster Arena is a strategy board game, sort of like Final Fantasy Tactics, but a board game, and he got a free trip to France for it.
Wow.
Mia Violet won that tournament. It was her first time playing in a tournament. And she won the national championship at PAX, and her and Kevin, who are like really close friends, get to go to France with each other for Worlds. Isn't that absurd?
That is very absurd. So we could potentially see one of them be the world champion.
Yeah.
What is it called?
Crossmaster Arena.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if you get to go to France. I mean,
you win a free trip to France.
All right, so I'm assuming Chase Moloney is going to be going first here.
There's a handshake.
This is not the ideal starter for Chase. Obviously, he wants to let Leo up top because David cannot do anything on his first turn to it. So maybe he can get his start be optimal and assert a little pressure onto this Virizion Genesect.
He has a computer search, and he can at least find the Leo or whatever kind of piece he's missing here. I can't see what else is in his hand. But
I saw David's hand. It is not looking that great from what I saw.
I mean, going second, I think, is pretty bad for David here.
Yeah.
Like, he knows that basically he cannot do anything this turn, and the next turn.
I see a Skyla and a Shadow Triad, and an Ultra Ball. So I mean, he's going to be able to hopefully get a second Virizion in play and attach to the one on the bench.
Yeah, he has things going on, but I mean, I think his when going first, he's probably like 40% to win this match.
Right.
And when going second, he's probably like 30. And there's a bicycle for 2. Another Leo hits the field and an end.
And so that's why we don't even bother talking about David's end, because you can never know when the ends are coming.
Gonna get rid of that.
It's funny, as this is going on, they're kind of tearing down everything else around us. So one half of the room is like really amped, excited to see what's going on in the top 8. And the other is just the staff who have been here all day long, who probably set up last night and are probably dead tired, and they're just like waiting for it to get over. It's always an interesting dynamic when we do these one days here.
The staff of Pokemon tournaments work so hard. Like I walk into a Pokemon tournament and I'm just glad I'm not the person who has to set up all these chairs and tables.
I know.
So thank your staff members. Tell them how grateful you are for their help, because no sane person would do all of this.
So, it looks like David has a little bit better hand. Still has to worry about losing that attachment if he attaches to the Virizion up top.
I don't think he can even afford to do that. I think he just has to attach to a Genesect.
Yeah.
He's too far behind if he just gets his Virizion knocked out with the energy on it. With the low energy on it, mind you.
Yeah. Skyling for the enhanced hammer. Seems like a pretty pro play. It's a repeat of match 1. We'll see if Chase can answer and get the blacksmith and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, Chase does have the 2 fire in his discard off the turn 1 computer search.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's scary. Definitely wouldn't want to be in David's position right now. I mean, you never know. Like, what you can't just count him out, obviously. Like,
there's the Pyroar.
Yep.
There's an Ultra Ball. Really tilts me that Chase is using those new Ultra Balls, especially in the expanded format.
Yeah, I made sure not to run those. Just the artwork's so ugly.
In fairness, it's not like Ultra Ball artwork is incredible. It's just like a ball with like a splash image, but still, gotta respect your elders. 5, 6, 7 off the Juniper. And I see roller skates and a level ball. There's a level ball, I assume. Just gonna go get a Litleo. Slam it onto the bench.
Speaking of on tilt, David's got the new energy switch.
Of course he does.
I mean, out of all the energy switches you can play, he just decides to play the newest one. But
half of David's cards, I'm sure, don't even match. I wouldn't worry about it. And he passes the turn back. There's the Drifloon. And there's the energy switch. David's actually playing a risky game. If he hasn't hit an energy here, he's just done. Mind you, he has probably 6 more energy, plus the plasmas, plus the professor's letter. So I'm sure has a pretty high chance of hitting it, but he's going to look real stupid if he misses it.
I mean, he can also hit a Sky Arrow or something like that. So, I mean, the amount of outs he has is insane.
Yeah, but, like, if he hits a Sky Arrow, it's not the same thing as hitting the energy, you know?
Yeah.
There we go. The last card.
Got him.
Meanwhile, this is just insane. Like, he just gets to put damage on... Or he doesn't get to put damage on the board, but he gets to put energy on the board. And Chase could theoretically not have the knockout. I'm sure that he does. It's not too hard to get, but... I'm going to go ahead and muscle band up the Drifloon.
I think David's playing a really good game here. I mean,
David's doing everything he can.
Here comes down another Pyroar for Chase. And I don't even think we've mentioned here that these two are both former world champions.
Yes, Chase won the 2012 Senior Division World Championship with the Electric, and David won the 2011 Masters Division World Championship with Magnabore with twins in it. Chase also has a top 8 from Worlds this year, where he lost to Paulo, who went on to top 4 of the event. I mean, obviously went on top 4 of the event, but he lost in top 4. And David also has a second in seniors in 2009, losing to Takuto Itagaki in the finals. In the finals that you can watch on YouTube, sped up about 15 times speed.
Who did David lose to in seniors?
His name is Takuto Itagaki. He's known as Kyogre Kid.
Okay.
He used to go to tournaments with like this Kyogre, one of those Kyogre character hats.
Gotcha.
He just destroyed David.
David was playing Stalgon that year, correct?
Yeah.
I have that deck, and I have no clue how to play it. I pretty much don't know how to play anything that isn't big basics.
Right. It's alright. It's not too hard. I'll teach you.
You still owe me a city championship win.
That's true. Are you gonna go hard this year, James? I know you've been talking about.
I don't even know. I really enjoy streaming and just being here for my friends a lot more than playing. I had some really fun games today, but like when I play like super competitive people, I just don't find myself enjoying it as much. Like I'm more laid back now. I'm not like super serious, like headphones on between the rounds, like not wanting to talk to anybody. Like I just can't do that anymore.
Fair enough.
We'll see. I've always said that my goal, once I saw the cards from the next set, my goal is to just grind into Worlds using Tool Drop.
Okay, fair enough. Because you get to play the tools in your opponent's Pokemon?
Yeah,
Okay.
the Flare tool on the Seismitoad to make it cost 3 to Quacking Punch.
Quacking Punch.
Sorry, Team Ducklet Dynasty, Quacking Punch.
Quack.
Quack,
Right, that's
quack.
an 8-card Colress.
It looks like he missed the G boost.
No G booster for you, buddy.
And to top it off, if he has an enhanced, what?
You can go ahead and
The red signaling.
could I mean, he's not red signaling. It's been a couple seconds. I don't know if he's gonna announce it, but
Does he even have a third energy? Yeah, I think it's underneath
yeah,
it.
he's just using two different
Get
borders.
me too.
There's the red signal. Go ahead and retreat into the Jirachi, probably. I'm not actually sure.
Not sure what you do here. I mean, you just serve up a Virizion. It's pretty worthless at this point. I mean, they're all 2 prizes.
Yeah, you don't want to. There we go.
There you go. Into the Jirachi. Interesting. Good call.
I mean, I think it's just something that's the least important. Like, they're, they're all going to get knocked out. And
Right.
Jirachi can also much more easily get knocked out by something like a Mewtwo or something that's not a Pyroar.
Right.
Roller skates is a heads. It's 3 cards. Juniper, Blacksmith,
Lysander. Ooh. So
that's pretty big. And that's actually probably going to be the game.
he still does have the Drift Bloom. Does Chase have 2 in the discard?
I don't know. All I know is Chase has 2 prizes left, so
Wow.
it's going to be pretty difficult.
Yeah, for sure.
For David to come back. David got a game off of him though. And Chase Moloney's 2 prizes were fires. And David draws. Looking pretty grim. At least he got a game off of him. It's probably more than a lot of the Virizion players can say about their Pyro opponents.
That's true. I see Sam and Alex are still playing over there from the looks of things.
Absolutely are.
Comes a Super Rod coming down for a Genesect and 2 Grass Energies. Does David have an N in his hand? I think that's somewhat important right now. He can N him down to 2. Hopefully Chase wouldn't be able to get an energy. Nope.
I was going to go ahead and Skyla. I think the problem is that
Skyline.
yeah, I guess he's just on the hope he doesn't have an energy plan.
Oh, that's not even a Drift Bloom. It's still a Drift Bloom.
Yeah, it's still a Drift Bloom.
Ooh.
Red Signal, the Mewtwo, and there's the Pyroar.
This is a well-played game by both sides. I mean, they're both doing everything they can here.
Yeah, there's not really too much to do. I don't think this is a very decision-heavy game, but they're both playing well. And there's the Blacksmith.
Wow.
Pyroar. I guess he's just gonna ship. No, he's gonna go ahead and Ultra Ball. No.
Is he gonna go with a 4th Pyroar?
Yep.
Wow.
It appears as if David is still in this game, at least for this turn, though. I don't really know what he can do. He has Chases 2 fully loaded Pyroars up. Not sure if there's a way David can get out of this. They're both kind of laughing to themselves. I think they see that.
He still does not have a way. Oh, I guess he has that DCE.
Does he have DC in hand?
He does have a DCE to retreat that Mewtwo.
Well, David has the N at the very least.
That's true.
The problem is that if David... The problem is that if David wants to actually make leeway in the game, he has to knock out a Pyroar, which involves the Chase getting to send up another Pyroar, you know? I suppose that David can knock out the...
Does David have it? Yeah, there's the N. We see
he
the N.
Skylit for it. I guess David could knock out the Mewtwo with the Drift Blim, and then the Pyroar knocks out the Drift Blim. Maybe David can place another Drift Blue and evolve the Drift Blim, knock out that Pyroar. But even then, that's 2 turns from now where Chase could attach 2 energy and then the 3rd one on the next turn, so David's not looking great. Sam and Alex are still playing.
Looks like they're both having a good time regardless. I mean, I think you can see that they both understand. So do we have a... What do we have?
We have Energy Switch, Muscle Band, Grass Energy, Juniper, Plasma Energy,
Yep.
and that's the
There
game.
we go.
Chase Moloney advances to the top 4 of the Vancouver, British Columbia